That's it.
Miles, as being a fan, unbelievable. As being a fan of the XFL, you were one of the originals. You had told us that you tailgated at the Rams and all of that.
I actually worked for the Rams for a
That is true.
Yeah. I want to thank Rudy G for that as well.
Thank you, Rudy. We have a team name now. What does that mean to you as a St. Louis fan? To have our own team name as a homegrown team. What does that mean to you to have a team name?
It's an identity. It's something that we can rally around. You know, anytime you get any kind of group of people together for anything, you need something to kind of focus on. And if you're a nameless rabble out there, that's no good for anybody. Now we've got an identity we can build off of. We can build a fan base off this. We're already kicking around names like the Flight Crew and things like that.
I like that.
I like that too.
And I'll just tell you something.
Miles, get the mic a little closer to you. Everybody says they can't hear you.
Sure.
There you go.
And I'll just tell you, as an Air Force veteran, when I saw that being the first team and logo that rolled out today, man, my blood pressure went up. My skin got cold and clammy. It was just awesome on so many levels. And all the guys I know from out at the base, the old Flyers and stuff, we saw that and we're like, hey, that's us, man. That is us. This is going to be so phenomenal. I cannot wait till kickoff. Can't wait for the first game. This is going to be just great all across the board.
February 8th, 2020, it goes down. The St. Louis Battlehawks.
Now listen, Arlington, Miles, I got a bone to pick.
Yeah, you do. You got a bone. And you've been waiting for this moment.
I've been quietly waiting because Miles is here, one of our number one fans. I've been everybody wants to bitch and moan about the name, the Battlehawks.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I was one of them, but I was like, I'm gonna warm up to it, and I am warming up to it right now. But you got something for those that don't got anything to say good about it.
You're going on Twitter, you're going on Facebook, and you're bitching and moaning about a team name. Get over it. It's our own team. We are building this team from scratch. It's our team. Who cares if it sounds close to the Blackhawks? You can go take a flying leap off the Eads Bridge or the Stan Musial Bridge because I don't give a rat's ass. It's a sweet name. The logo's cool. The name is cool. Hell, the Black Hawk Down helicopter is built right here at Boeing Aircraft. That's why they picked the name, you idiots. What do you guys want? The Queefs? Or do you want the bloody tampons? Or the Islanders? I mean, think about it. Who cares about the name? We go out there and we chant Battlehawks. Like, Miles, what did you say you guys were coming up with some names?
Oh,
you said the Flight Crew, wasn't it?
When we first saw the name that came out, being an Air Force veteran, here's the thing. We don't really have any. We've got a Falcon, we've got an Eagle, and the flight inventory. Our only Hawk is like the Pavlo Hawk, which is a drone.
Right.
So we were like, it took us back for a second. But then we started thinking about, especially I started thinking about, I'm like, you know what? Here's the deal. All the F-15 guys, all the F-16 guys, we can all get on board with this because it's not a Falcon. It's not an Eagle. It's something unique, and it's unique to this area. And the beauty of this is having, like a war-fighting kind of mascot is something that we can kind of all get behind and follow through.
Right, exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with being different, okay? This is a time now where you dare to be different, and that's what the XFL is all about. And so a team name like the Battlehawks, I told you before, I wasn't quite interested in it at first, but I'm warming up to it. And this is something, if you see the logo, it's actually pretty damn cool.
It's a sweet-ass logo, man.
Exactly. The blue and silver, it actually correlates to what the aviation is.
It's almost an exact duplicate of two patches that I used to wear. U.S. Air Force's Europe is the sword with the two, and also Tactical Air Command is pretty much that logo. So it has like a deep meaning, I mean, there's a lot that went into the marketing behind that. So I gotta say, hats off to the XFL for coming up with that.
Yeah, indeed.
Right. So let's look at it. So I pulled up XFL. This is courtesy of XFL News Hub, and you see what the number one logo is, don't you? The St. Louis Battlehawks, baby. Who has the most followers on Twitter?
Right.
I mean, the Viper, the Tampa Bay Viper, the New York Guardians, the Seattle Dragons, the LA Wildcats, the DC Defenders, the Roughnecks, and the Renegades.
I will say this. about the Houston Roughnecks.
Right.
It has a throwback of sorts to the Houston Oilers. And we're going to get some special guests that's going to be coming on to the
going to get some
program
very special guests
pretty soon. So,
but we do have a really special guest, Miles, who's
yes,
right there.
Miles is
top
the first
fan.
guest. Definitely.
Right.
And so we wanted to have him come over and definitely talk to us a bit because he's been one of our biggest fans of the show.
Right.
And so we definitely are grateful to have you here with us.
I love getting to be a part of this, man. Sitting here listening to you guys talk trash in person is a lot. It's just as cool as sitting home watching you guys talk trash, but it's kind of cool because, you already know this is happening out, and once these games released, people have already got there. When they start losing, they're going to be the chicken hawks. That's going to happen.
Right.
Miles, stop. That's not going to happen. We're going 10-0, and then we're going to win the championship. We're going 12-0. We're smacking everybody around.
And also because people are lazy, and I'm one of them, it's just going to be the Hawks in like no time at all. You'll be talking about the Cards, the Blues, and the Hawks. That's just going to happen, man.
As the first XFL champions, baby. Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I just would be the first one to like hit the world with like that's what's going to happen.
Right,
Like,
yeah. I got you.
Talk about these teams.
I don't know. I mean, at first, like you said, Arlington, I wasn't warmed up to the name.
Right.
But the more and more I started looking at it, the more and more I started looking at the video, and the more and more I started realizing the stuff here in St. Louis.
And then you understood it. And then you got the meaning behind it.
Yes.
And those that sit around hating talking about this is little bit, it's got nothing but a college league, or you got the chicken hawks. Hey, you go ahead and deal with that league that's going on right now. You deal with all the bull crap that you have to deal with all the NFL penalties.
Right.
You deal with the domestic abuse. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to go that far.
As I always say, Arlington, we're often duplicated, we're often imitated, but never duplicated on the XFL STL Talk Show. It's just, this is going to be a different league. It's going to be a different type of game. Miles, before the show started, we were talking, it's going to kind of be like a CFL league.
Yeah. Except I think it's going to be faster than the CFL with more scoring because 4 downs, no punting. The whole thing about the 5-yard halo around the guy getting the ball, I love that. One of the worst hits I ever saw back when I was playing football in Europe, I was on an Air Force team over there called the Sky Kings. I saw a guy get his jaw broke because he was looking up to catch a punt, and a guy just clocked him with a forearm underneath, like right across the chin and broke his jaw. So, when you think about it, you need rules like that to protect players. And I love Oliver Luck as an ex-player because he's thinking about player safety. He's thinking about the guys on the field, but he's also thinking about the guy at home watching it on one of the platforms. What's going to be interesting? What are you going to want to see when you're sitting at home that's going to make you not change the channel to watch, Celebrity Housewives? Well, actually, the NFL is kind of like Celebrity Housewives, but, it'll keep you interested in the game. And I love that. Man.
Right. Now, we were talking we asked you, like, Miles, what is your favorite aspect that you want to see about this game?
If I had to just – I love the idea of 4 downs and just the amount of pressure that's going to put on a defense to stay on the field for 4 downs, not knowing after 3 special teams is going to come in.
Right, yeah.
If you've ever played the game, you are gassed. Right. Like the third play you're on the field. And I'm not going to talk about my play days, but I remember thinking being on the field and not knowing what quarter it was because I was so exhausted.
Right.
Watching how defenses are going to, react to that is going to be, to me, probably the most entertaining thing of the whole thing. But on the other side of the ball, you're an offensive player. You're going to have to keep your conditioning up because you're going to be out there.
Right, yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right. One of my favorite parts, and I've said it, is going to be 88 players on the field for overtime. Can you imagine the mayhem?
Let's bring it down just a little bit. Let's bring it down a little bit. It's going to be 44. You got to remember, it's going to be 11 on each
44,
side.
22 on each side. Whatever.
But still, come on, think about it. 11 on each side, and then you got 22 on one side, 22 on another. It's going to be bananas.
Listen, I don't give a rat's ass. You got that many people on the field.
Calm down.
It's going to be crazy.
Calm down,
just like all these assholes out here that are hating on the Badgers. You can kiss my ass. You guys all suck.
Calm down,
This is what I was talking about.
I'm just saying, they all suck.
Calm down.
Ego
and when Pat comes on at 6:30, I'm going to tell him that all these fans that want to piss and moan about the name, that they suck too.
Calm down.
All right,
down. I gotta get him calm.
Take over.
Too
many daddy sodas.
This is the XFL STL Talk Show, and we are live from Urban Chestnut, live here in the Grove. And I got a special guest with us right now. That's Miles Bateman. And if you can see right now, he has on the actual colors of the Battlehawks.
That is
blue,
true.
silver, and with a little bit of white in
And if
between.
you notice, right behind us,
There's
right
the
there's
sign,
our
right?
logo, which is kind of. I mean, Miles, pull the poster up. It really is cool looking.
Gonna bring it
I
over just a
really
little
do
bit.
like it.
I'll help you with it.
I'm not watching myself on TV.
I do like it. I like the logo,
Exactly.
and I like the name.
Right. I told you.
Can you guys just imagine what the helmets are going to look like?
Oh my
what
God.
the uniforms are going to look like?
I'm actually feeling kind of bad right now that the XFL shop is closed.
I am
until
too.
Saturday because I was actually looking forward to getting some merchandise the minute that it dropped.
I'm getting a new hat.
I did wear a hat today just because of that. I'm like,
Right,
mix it up.
exactly.
But see, that's the thing, though. That's the cool thing about this league. It's different, and they dare to be different. That is the biggest thing about it.
Right.
I'm understanding why is everybody so upset about it. You know, about the forget it. Forget about the name.
Because you guys suck. That's why. You're a bunch of idiots. This is our own homegrown stuff.
All right.
Our own homegrown stuff. Get over it.
Dude.
right,
It's just a matter of time before he drops
Chill
the
out.
people's elbow on some.
Right, he's gonna drop it on this
Okay.
equipment, and then we
There
have
you
no
go.
show anymore.
Right, yeah, we're good. Okay, I apologize. I don't. You guys still all suck because you hate the name.
We got various fans coming into the picture here. They're coming in for the party, and you know, I was excited about it the first day.
I
You heard
was
about
too.
it.
Me
Yeah,
too.
you're
Mike,
right.
when you heard about it on January 25th, 2018, what were you feeling?
I wigged out. I called my son. I said, "Go online. You got to get me an XFL jersey. The only thing you could find was a He Hate Me jersey." He got it for me,
And that's how we met
excited
him.
I
That's
was.
how we met.
Exactly.
I was coming out to my car
Right.
at this showcase, and I'm waiting on you.
Right.
And there's this guy in a He Hate Me jersey. And I was like, hey, dude, that's a great jersey. So me and Miles started talking. And I'm like, oh, here's our card. You might want to watch your show. He's like, oh, hell yeah. And so since then, Miles has been a huge supporter. And every week, Miles is there watching our show.
Oh, and absolutely. Whenever I'm on, I got friends with me and family that are watching.
You'll be surprised who's been watching our show.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say who.
Yeah, you'll
but we
be
might have a
surprised.
special guest come in, and he might tell it himself.
He's a little more professional than I am.
Way more professional than you are.
Way more professional.
But definitely, Miles, grateful to have you here.
It's so good to be here, man. I mean, this has been probably one of the best days in the history of St. Louis.
Yes.
When you think about all the great things that have happened here this summer, starting with the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
I just found out yesterday we're going
Get over
to
that.
the 4 PGA.
The Stanley Cup, those guys suck
Get
too.
over it.
The XFL's in town. This is like, we're living in high cotton, as we say down in Texas. Things are really good here right now, and I think we needed that after the Rams left and, what they kind of trashed the city on the way out. Well, guess what? We picked it back up, cleaned it off, and it's better than ever.
Right.
The product
Exactly.
in the field is going to be
Before
awesome.
you go, Miles, did you already purchase your season tickets?
Oh, you better believe I did. First day online. I talked to Kurt, and apparently they're going to have a day where you can go pick your seat. All I'm looking for is an aisle seat because I'm old and I got a bad bladder. So you've always got for people over 50, you know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
Miles,
Yeah,
we actually have somebody on here. Travis Hearn says, hey, the guy on the right was just on the news talking
Yes.
about you.
You are a star now, man.
I'm telling you, this was a good day for me.
You are a star.
Idiot.
You smacked that big egghead Randy character around in the 4 o'clock flat like you were
I
supposed
got to
to.
take him on again tomorrow. He is a genius. Let me just say that. I don't want to be part of him like bringing the hammer down on me. But it was really fun today, man. I never thought I'd beat Randy character, to be honest with you.
Right. Now, Miles, go on, Arlene.
So I was going to say thank you, man. Thank you for coming
Thank
through.
you guys for having me, man. This has been
Yeah.
a great, like I said, the cherry on top of the pie for today, man. That's awesome, man. You guys totally rock. Keep up the good work. I'm going to keep watching. I'm getting all my friends to watch. You guys do a great job with this podcast. Keep it up, and we're going to watch this thing just skyrocket,
Well,
man.
Miles, we appreciate that. Thank you for being a fan.
Sure,
Thank you
not a
for being a
problem.
supporter and all that and everything that you do. This is the XFL STL Talk Show. It's not but we're going to talk Battlehawks talk.
All day.
But we're not changing the name.
No, we're
Because
not.
I'm not getting in trouble for any copyright or trademark infringement. Screw that shit. I ain't got that bad of money.
You got all of that out of your system now, right?
I do, right.
You
Yeah.
good? No, we'll probably do it in the 6 o'clock hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, at 6:30 we're going to have, somebody, a really special guest.
You already said his name, so you might as well say it now.
What's his name?
You said Kurt Hunziker.
Oh, is that who it is?
The St. Louis Battlehawks president will be here.
Oh, that guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Is he special?
He might be.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, he'll be here at 6:30.
I feel like I just got to open for him. Is that
Well, no, Miles, you got to open for our next guest.
Yep.
Really bigger.
for me? I'm looking at this the wrong way.
See?
I'm the starting pitcher. He's the reliever coming from the bullpen.
Right, yeah.
I'm feeling a tendon in my arm. I'm gonna have to punch it
Is that
out.
what it is? You have to punch
we
out?
get Kurt in to relieve me. I think it's what we're looking for here. So.
Well, we appreciate it.
Well,
Thank you so much,
Thank
man.
you for having me.
This is the XFL STL Talk Show. I am Dirty. Sitting next to me is the one, the only.
The A-Train Arlington Lane, and we are live from the Urban Chestnut here in the Grove, baby. And coming up next,
Oh, God, I've been waiting for this one.
coming up next,
We're going to take a
coming-
quick little break, but I've been waiting for this one. You want to just go right into it?
Let's go right into it, man.
Let's do it.
Why do I see the fans
Coming in the camera.
I keep the fans waiting. Howard Brown is here, ladies and gentlemen.
The mayor.
He's here.
The myth, the legend.
He's here, ladies and gentlemen.
He
Howard
watched me
Bowser.
make an ass of myself just a minute ago.
Yep, he did. He wanted to make sure that he saw it live.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Howard, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. You know, but this is such an honor to have these headphones on my head right after Miles was wearing them. I mean, what could be better than that? I mean,
Right,
really.
yeah.
So,
Well,
go ahead.
I got the
You
first
go get
question.
first.
Howard,
Okay, you get it.
you were following you followed the Alliance. You got to turn you up. Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
That's good.
You
Yeah.
followed the Alliance. You worked for the Alliance football. Now you're following the XFL. For the answer me this: for the XFL to succeed in a whole, will it have to succeed here in St. Louis of all places?
Oh, I think absolutely. I think this team can be the standard bearer for the rest of the league. Because to be quite honest, I think one of the biggest questions to me is a league that has 7 other teams in NFL markets,
Right.
is going to be a challenge.
Right.
I mean, the whole league is a challenge. We have to accept that as reality. It's a challenge, but to have teams in those 7 markets where the NFL teams are pretty darn good.
Right. Yeah.
Like most of them. I mean, you got Houston, you got Dallas, you got Seattle, you got Los Angeles. Of course, in Los Angeles, the fans don't even care about the Rams and the Chargers.
No, they don't.
But you wonder how many are going to come out to see the LA
Wildcats.
Wildcats,
I mean, we'll see. And then you got
Kansas City,
New York, you got Washington, you have Tampa. You know, they might be decent with Bruce Arians.
Right.
So it's going to be a challenge, and so this is a key mark. I don't think it was coincidence that when they announced all the nicknames today,
Right.
that St. Louis was the first one.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I think the league is looking at this as a city that can, like I said, be a standard bearer for the rest of the league, a city that obviously doesn't have a team, and you can promote and do all the things you're going to be doing between now and the start of the season and have people noticing it. I mean, they're going to have mini camps.
Right,
From what I
yeah.
understand, they're going to have mini camps for teams in middle of November into December.
Right.
Well, in those other cities where they're playing NFL games, how much is the media and fans going to be paying attention to those mini camps? They're going to have to do a hell of a job promoting and marketing to try to get those fans that the league believes will be there. Here, hey, totally different story.
Now you say media. You know, me and Arlington jumped on this early, December 2018. You were one of the first media guys who also jumped on the XFL in all of that. You know, so that kudos to you. You were there starting to cover it. What do you think the impact that having football back in St. Louis is going to do for that downtown area? Because now we got a team back there on a Saturday, Sunday, and all that. What do you think that impact is going to have on that city?
I think it'll have hopefully it'll have a nice impact. I mean, it's only 5 games, and so now granted the NFL was 8 plus 2 preseason games, so that's 10 times fans are coming downtown. So here it's only 5, and it's at a time of the year that, I mean, it's funny. Last year, when I got back from the Super Bowl, and the following weekend was the start of the Alliance. And if you guys recall, that Sunday, there was a big ice storm predicted for St. Louis. As it turned out, it didn't materialize.
No.
Right. Just like yesterday's rainstorm that was going to blow the city down, and it never happened. But we know that that's the weather in St. Louis a lot of times.
Exactly.
It can happen. Well, if there's an ice, if it's February 7th, 2020, and I'm kind of hoping that the league maybe has the Battlehawks, play maybe the first 1 or 2 games on the road.
Yeah.
But if they don't, if it's February 8th or whatever the date is, and there's a big snowstorm or something like that, I mean, how many people are going to fight to get downtown?
Right.
To make sure they go to the game. I mean, so I think those are all challenges that are real.
Right.
And so you hopefully that won't materialize. But I thought of that when I heard, oh man, there's an ice storm. Suppose there was a St. Louis team in the Alliance and they were playing on Sunday.
Right. Yeah.
Who knows? But I think generally, and the Alliance had some issues with weather.
Right. Yeah, they did.
In Memphis time, and so you hope the fans are really buy into it, and we'll see. But I think the TV ratings though will be good.
Okay.
And there's no reason they shouldn't be, because their TV this league's TV contract is much better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You're not lying about that.
Howard Balzer,
You wouldn't have to look far. You wouldn't have to look hard on your TV and go through your guide to find out what the hell channel is CBS Sports Network.
You can go to your digital box and you can get these games. It's going to be here locally. You can catch the Battlehawks games on Channel 30 or on Channel 2. Or if you got cable, you'll check it on ESPN or Fox Sports 1 or 2. So
it's stations you normally watch.
Exactly. So you'll have an opportunity to see every single game on television.
Right, exactly.
So that's the biggest thing as we talking with Howard Balzer. He's joining us here on the XFL STL Talk Show, and we are live on Facebook. Watch, baby, from the
YouTube. On the Universal Production.
Oh, you put us on there now?
I did, yes.
Since when?
It's been, it just depends on how I feel for that day.
Yeah, exactly. We got Howard Balzer here, and Howard, the first thing that came up was one of the big signings, I guess, for the XFL was Landry Jones. How did you feel about that?
It's a nice signing. I mean, he obviously realizes that there's probably not a future in the NFL, and so that's the biggest thing for a league, and it's hard to have recognizable quarterbacks.
Right.
And the Alliance really didn't to start out, but a lot of those guys play pretty good football, and they started building up a following, and fans start to get to know them. But I think with a guy that at least people remember from his college days,
right,
has been on the roster of the Steelers for several years, I'm not going to go overboard and saying it's a great signing, but it's a positive thing for the league because in 2 or 3 weeks they're going to start signing guys that were cut, trying to sign guys that were cut by NFL teams. Because the big cut is coming August 31st, and then players will be added to the practice squads the following day. And so the way I understand it is that the XFL, when they have guys sign contracts, they're not going to let them out if an NFL team wants them, which the Alliance did allow. Now, if that's the case, I wonder how many guys are going to, because we know how rosters churn in the NFL.
Right.
Is a guy going to give up that chance that maybe I'll get signed in a month or two to sign now with the XFL and know that I'm committed to it? I'm sure some will, but how many guys with any kind of pedigree will? So I think that's going to be a challenge for the league if, in fact, they stick to that. They might find that a lot of guys and agents are saying, well, no, we want to be able to go if an NFL team wants them, and who knows, the XFL might have to change things.
Well, also,
if they find that that's the reaction of players and agents,
would there be a possible? Because there are some that are diamonds in the rough. A lot of people are on Twitter trying to really promote themselves somehow. Give me a look.
Right.
Maybe if those guys get an opportunity, get a chance, those that's like, I'm too good for the XFL. Maybe you give them an opportunity. Is that something that?
They're going to give a lot of guys opportunities. I mean, there's no question about it. A lot of the guys that are going to be cut, there's going to be a certain number of veterans, but not that many, second, third year guys that will be released. But think of this. There were approximately 600 undrafted free agents.
That's amazing.
Signed this year by NFL teams.
That's crazy.
600. Now, a small number. I remember looking this up last year. There were about 45 that made opening day rosters, and a bunch more were on practice squads. But a large majority of the guys being cut in a couple weeks are going to be those guys, or maybe guys from last year that were undrafted and maybe were on a practice squad, and now somebody else better came along that the team feels. So those are the type of players that are going to be released, and some of them might be realistic and say, hey, I'll take this opportunity because another team might not give me a call. That's so, man. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But the quarterbacks are key. The quarterbacks are key of having quality guys with offensive lines around them, and it's always tough. I thought in the Alliance, and we talked about this, Arlington, on your show a few times, that in the beginning of the season for the Alliance, the offenses, a bunch of them struggled.
Right.
Because you have offensive lines playing together for the first time. You have quarterbacks trying to get real timing with receivers. They'd only had about 3 weeks of training camp. And so that's what you're going to have. And it's going to take some time for those guys to get comfortable with each other. And so that'll likely happen here because it'll be all new teams being put together for the first time.
The XFL STL Talk Show is live from the Urban Chestnut here in the Grove in St. Louis, Missouri. I am the A-Train, Arlington Lane. Sitting to my right is Dirty. And then we got Howard Balls.
The legend.
Yes, he is.
The legend.
Yes. And we've been talking a minute about everything that's been going on with the XFL as a whole. But one thing I want to know for sure, there's one name that's still kind of out in the open, but is unsure of where he wants to go. And that person is Johnny Manziel. Does he take his advantage and go to the XFL?
I'm not sure if he's unsure because he signed with the Alliance last season. And so I haven't checked into it, to be quite honest, to see if the league is truly interested in him. He didn't go to any of the showcases, so I'm not sure where the league stands on him. I would think that if he truly wants to play and is serious about playing football, that it would be a plus for the league because he'll be noticed. I mean, when Johnny Manziel was signed by Memphis in the Alliance, he wasn't even going to start. His first game he played and didn't do that badly for a guy who hadn't been there, but the first home game that Memphis sold like 8,000 to 10,000 seats.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And CBS, which only had televised the first game of the season, hadn't televised anymore, they were set to televise the game that Memphis was playing in Week 9, which of course never happened.
Right.
So CBS was going to hype it, and that's all anybody was talking about. Johnny Manziel. Whatever you think of him, he gets hyped.
Right.
So I would think that would be a positive for the league. So again, I don't know if they're.
I'm saying Houston.
Well, that would be
a perfect fit because the coach there, June Jones, was his coach in CFL.
Right, yeah.
2 seasons ago.
Exactly.
And so that would make sense, and he's from Texas.
Right.
And so, I don't know. Again, I don't know if maybe the league doesn't have an interest in him. Maybe they don't. But I would think if they do, then it would be a smart move. But by asking that question, I talked about him a couple times with people.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to have to ask, try to dig into that a little bit and find out with the league what the stance is on him.
Yes.
So I have a question. So for St. Louis, what did you think of the name? You saw what I thought of it. You saw me. I liked the name.
Right.
I was blasting all the idiots for not liking the name.
What's the big deal? People say, "Oh, it should have been this," or as I said, some people say, "This should have been the Vipers." I mean, it's a name. So not everybody, those who have an issue, they'll say it, and then it'll be done.
Right.
And within a few weeks, it'll be the Battlehawks, and no one will think twice about it. That whether it's their name. That's our team now.
Right. Yeah.
St. Louis's team. They're the Battlehawks. And I'll tell you what I loved. I wish I should have brought it with me so I could read it.
Right.
The little intros they put for the teams.
You want the intro? I'll get it for you. Give me a second.
Because I could say it in my John Facenda voice.
All right, give me a second. Let me get to it.
Because they did a good job with the production of that.
Yes, they did.
Let me get to my email.
I would say big ups to the XFL for what they did with the trailers.
I probably have it in my email.
Yeah, let me get to my email real quick for you.
Yes.
You know, I mean, we got people just joining in. They're bogging us down, and they're like, "Oh, you guys are going to? It's crazy." Well, good. Quit watching then, and it won't be so crazy, you idiots. I just speak the truth.
Oh, exactly. And, you know, and I do appreciate that sometimes, but we got to get you to calm down.
I know, but that's what the kids
All right, here we go. I got it.
There you go.
I got it.
All right, go.
Clear my voice. Winged warriors preparing for flight, preparing to fight. They await their orders, then attack as one, diving, dodging, swooping, striking. Their mission, create chaos. Their mandate, win at all costs. The St. Louis Battlehawks, cleared to engage.
How awesome was that?
See, I love it. I love that.
Hey, and guess what? It has your chaos in there, man.
Right, exactly.
He had been for weeks.
Was that pretty good?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
it was.
really good.
He was for weeks saying, "Oh, I wanted to be St. Louis Chaos." But guess what? They put it in there for you.
They did. They did put it in. I was leaning more towards the chaos. I'm glad they didn't cost them the toasted Ravs. Then I probably would have really went off.
I saw somebody tweet, why is there a sword in the Battlehawks logo?
What do they do?
Well, did you know that there was in 1988 there was a Battlehawks 1942 video game? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it recreated battles in World War II.
Right.
From the Navy.
Right.
And I love that because my dad was in the Navy and he fought technically he didn't fight. He was on one of those transports that transported these soldiers that went on shore and fought. But they still took fire.
Yeah.
They still took a lot of fire. And he got a Medal of Valor, by the way,
There you
during
go.
World War II. So when I saw that being a Navy, and I saw there's kind of a Navy hook to it, I said, "Hey, that's pretty cool."
Right,
So I'm
yeah.
fine. I'm fine.
I
know that Kurt. He'll say it when he comes on with you guys in a little bit. He loves the name, and his mind's already going with things that you can do with it, and that's all that's really important.
Right. Exactly.
Battlehawks.
Right. Exactly. Now, before we let you go, who would you like to see be the quarterback of St. Louis? Of the guys that you've seen at the showcases and stuff like that.
It's a good question. I've been trying to think of that and thinking of a nice fit for St. Louis.
And for John Hayes at that.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think in this league, it's not like it's going to be any of these ridiculously complicated offenses. So I mean, just a fit in terms of being maybe a guy that people know and all that. I think it would be cool if Blaine Gabbert was cut. But he still, I'm sure, will get
He'll get
somebody.
a squad. He'll be on a squad somewhere.
I'll tell you, there was a couple guys in the Alliance that are on NFL rosters right now. I don't know that they'll make it. They could end up on practice squads. That I really like what I saw of them. Right. There was a guy, John Wolford.
Yeah.
Who played for Arizona. Logan Woodside.
Okay.
Played for San Antonio.
That's right.
But of guys that aren't playing right now, remind me. Who are some of the guys at the showcase?
Well, we had Mettenberger.
Mettenberger.
Luis Perez.
And Luis Perez.
Yep.
And I really had, quote, high hopes for Mettenberger.
Right, yeah.
He got his chance in the Alliance, and he didn't play well.
Right.
So I don't know, what his issue is.
Brandon Silvers, I don't know he did the invite, but I know
he played when he took over as the starter there.
Right, yeah.
He played pretty good.
Yeah.
And so I think you have to try to avoid just trying to get a guy who maybe St. Louis knows, but just getting a guy that you believe can be a good quarterback.
Right.
Because once you see him and start playing and they play well, people will love them.
So I would like to see James Franklin.
Yeah, what is the story about that?
What do you think of that?
Is he still in the CFL?
I think so, but I was like,
But his contract's coming up.
it's going to last past the season too, so
Right, yeah. So
it should be there.
How would you? Because it's a Mizzou boy.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think that would be I think that would be a good move, and I wouldn't be that you're handing him the job,
right?
Because you still have to compete with whoever else they're going to sign. But I think that would be a positive. He can run around. What is he now? He's got to be in his 30s, huh?
He's got to be close. Yeah, he's got to be close to it.
Close to it.
Yeah.
So he would be a good name, certainly, that people know of,
right?
And could be a guy. Is he accurate enough for
this game
for an offense? Yeah. Whatever the game is, you still need to be accurate.
Right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I'm saying for this game, he might be.
Well, maybe.
I could see like a guy and me and Arlington have talked about this, and you've heard us talk about this. Like guys like Tebow would be successful in this league. Guys like Kaepernick, those guys that do that wildcat run and gun shooting type offense, they would be successful in this league.
It's possible.
That's in my opinion.
It's possible. Kaepernick certainly, I think, would. Tebow was never accurate. I mean, he had a completion. Now, granted, it was the NFL, but he had a completion percentage under 50.
But he did win 2 championships and took the.
Oh, come on, man! You still stuck on that?
Took them?
Are you still stuck on that?
That's the reason why he's out of the NFL, because he sucked.
Well, right. The one game that they won when they beat the Steelers, he threw an 8-yard slant.
Right, yeah.
And the defensive back took a horrible angle, and the guy ran 70 yards after the catch.
And Thompson just bolted past him. Right, yeah.
Okay.
No, Tebow's terrible. I mean, I'm not a Tebow fan.
But there's one guy, and this is mine, and we're ending it with this.
Okay.
There's a guy, he played for the University of Connecticut. I think his name was David Pendell.
Oh,
he kind of reminded me of a right-handed version of Michael Vick. Have you?
I don't know him that well. No.
No, yeah, you're right.
He put a video out and see some of the highlight tapes. I was like, man, if he got into the league, he could actually turn it up because of the type of offense. You're only going to have 25 seconds, 30 seconds to get off a play. And I think he'd be the perfect guy to kind of get that situated. I don't know if you had seen him or not. So
the one guy I'm hoping, I know he was at the showcase, and he started playing well at the end of the Alliance season. I believe he was with Birmingham. Was the Mizzou kid, LaDavian Washington?
Yes,
the wide receiver.
That's another one.
That would be a good guy, a good guy to get.
Yeah.
And so, hey, maybe they can bring Jeremy Maclin out of retirement.
That'd be cool.
I doubt that he would want to do it.
Right, exactly. Right. I don't think so either.
Well, Howard, we want to thank you so much for stopping by, man, and joining us, and I appreciate your support that you give XFL STL.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to get here. It's going to get here a lot faster.
I mean, we're only
than people realize.
5 months away now.
Yeah, 5 months and a few weeks.
Right. Yeah.
And there'll be a mini camp in November, draft in October, training camp in January.
Ooh, that's going to be a cold training camp.
Well, what I hear is they'll be able to practice inside.
Well, yeah, we will
at Rams Park.
Whoa, Lou Fuse.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to say Lou Fuse. We're going to say Rams Park anymore.
And I believe the plan is they're going to have about 2 weeks of training camp in Houston, where all the teams are going to be.
Oh, okay.
And so they can practice against each other and things like that.
Okay.
The one thing the Alliance did that was pretty cool is that 2 days before breaking camp, they had, and it was in San Antonio, so they had, they had preseason games. They had 2 on Sunday and 2 on Monday. And so all the teams played one game, and they were able to go through a lot of the stuff with the announcing and the things that they were going to have in stadium, with the statistical crews and all that. The funniest thing was, I'll never forget this. They go, and now, ladies and gentlemen, please join, whatever, for the singing of our national anthem. And there was no one there. They were playing a video. They played a video of whoever sang it at the Alamo Bowl.
Oh wow!
Yeah. Serious? And then at one point, this was really funny. A team's in the middle of a drive, and all of a sudden they have an announcement. Attention, everyone! We have a tornado warning. Severe storms. We're going to have to pause the game, and they just wanted to do it just as a run through. It was hilarious.
Wow!
It was hilarious. You disconnect us?
I did. I told you we're not high tech like those guys up there.
Hey, well, you do your best.
But I mean, we don't put on a bad show, right?
It's great. It's great.
Right?
It's fun. No,
he's looking for all.
I'm a douchebag. Arlington's a professional, and I'm unprofessional.
Well, I think Arlington. I think the first time that he contacted me and asked me to come on. And when I said yes, I think he probably said, "Really?"
I know, that's what he told me. He goes, Tom, we're getting Howard on. I'm like, no, I said, you're bullshitting me. He's like, no, seriously. I'm like, you're bullshitting me.
No, I do.
Hey, and that's why Howard is like believe it or not, one of the most greatest guys that I've ever got to work with, got to be around, and learn a lot of stuff about football and life itself, man. You know, he has done that for me, right? So I appreciate that. And definitely you coming here was actually great for us.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you for being a supporter of ours. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah. So where can people find you at?
Well, they can find me
right there in those blue lights. Right there in those blue lights. You can find me on Twitter at hbalzer, BALZER 721.
I hope to be doing a Sunday morning show on 590, previewing NFL games, working on some other things too.
Those guys.
And you can hear me every Tuesday night on the Charlie Tuna Show.
Right.
On Tuesday nights on 590. I'm on with him about 20, 30 minutes at about 8:15.
Shit, you know we ought to try. We ought to try to get him to come down to the Lynn Brewery. He can't hear us right now. We ought to try to get him to come down to the Lynn Brewery and do his own show. That's just all I'm saying. Maybe. I don't know.
Never know.
You never know what might happen.
You got a sponsor?
That's what we're working on. That's what we're working on, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the XFL STL Talk Show. I am Dirty City. Right there is the one, the only.
Yeah, Trent Arlington Lady.
And right down there is the myth, the legend of St. Louis sports.
He's not a myth. He's real. Come on, man.
Well, now he's real to me. Before he was just a myth.
Man. He's not a myth. He's real.
Do you want to announce who it is?
That's Howard Balzer.
There you go.
Howard Balzer.
Thank you
so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. And we will be right back.
Stay tuned, folks.
just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you. Tonight I'm sorry, but I don't have to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you. Tonight I'm sorry, but I have to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you. Tonight I'm sorry, but I don't have to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you. Tonight I'm sorry, but I don't have to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you. Tonight I'm sorry, but I don't have to be just friends. 'Cause I would love to be close to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the XFL Talk Show in a joint production with One Universal Productions and the In the Zone Network. I am Dirty. Sitting right next to me is my partner, the one, the only.
I am the A-Train, Arlington Lane.
In Arlington, we have another guest who's another big supporter of ours.
Yes, indeed. My man Rudy G.
Rudy G
is here.
Yes, sir.
He is here, man. And Rudy, thanks for stopping by.
Of course, man. Of course. How to show some love. How to show some love.
Rudy, you were there last night. There's our boy Will. Will finally showed up. Get right here behind us, Will. Come over here. Get on
Will,
camera.
say what's up?
Get on camera, Will. There's Will.
That's Big Will.
That's Will. Will is the backbone of the XFL STL Talk Show.
Yes, he is.
He really is. We just do the talking. Will is the backbone, though.
Yes, he is the backbone, man.
So, Will, give us a minute because we got Kurt coming on. We're going to talk to Rudy.
Yeah.
But just stay right here, Will. Don't move anywhere.
We're going to get you on,
Right.
man.
Now, Rudy, you were at
Yes, sir.
the Q&A last night with us, right?
Yes.
What is your perspective? What's that word I'm looking for, Arlington?
Perspective.
There you go. Of the XFL. Wait, we can't say that anymore. The St. Louis Battlehawks.
Battlehawks. That's right.
What is your? What's that word, Arlington?
Perspective.
Of the team.
Oh, I'm excited. For one, they're organized.
Right.
For one, they're taking every step properly.
Correct.
And then not only that, I don't know if St. Louis realizes how lucky they are, because they could have easily picked Chicago. Bigger market, more population.
Right.
Yes.
We're the only city in the country. Everybody else is around us on the coastal.
In the middle. Yes,
I mean, we got that Midwest locked up, and then we are so lucky, and I think St. Louis is going to show out. I really do.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
so what are you expecting on open? I'm saying we're going to pack that dome.
Yeah.
I mean, the dome is what?
First goal, lower bowl.
Right.
First goal is lower bowl. And then not only that, I mean, it's St. Louis, let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to do, but when it comes to when it comes to wintertime,
There ain't shit.
ain't shit.
There ain't shit.
Oh, we're trying to stay warm and we're watching sports.
There ain't shit.
And then so I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be supporting the Battle Hawks. I love the logo. That video got me hyped. I'm ready.
Now, you heard me go off earlier
Yep.
about all the idiots. You guys all still suck. I don't like any of this for the bashing on the Battle Hawks logo.
Yes.
What do you think of the name?
The Battle Hawks?
Yeah.
I like it. Well, honestly, as soon as the hype video came out, I was like, yes,
Okay.
tribute to St. Louis Aviation.
Thank you.
So, for those that don't know me, I work at the airport. I'm the man that known to get things done.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm like a VIP escort,
Right.
security, all that jazz. So any celebrity you've met, I've escorted.
Okay.
So
you've seen Coach Hage? You've seen Coach Hage?
Yep.
Okay.
I've seen him. You can't miss him. He's so tall.
No, he's
I mean, the dude is as tall as the control tower. But across the tarmac, you got Boeing.
Right.
Every day's an air show. You have the F-15s. You have the F-18s. I mean, when I saw that hype video, I was like, yes, aviation.
Right.
And then before Boeing, McDonnell Douglas. Before McDonnell Douglas,
Right.
NASA.
Right.
I mean, with the Gemini program. I mean, like, St. Louis is such a rich
oh,
history.
shit. Hold on.
And
I don't mean
so-
to stop you.
Yeah.
He even went back further, Arlington.
sure did.
I forgot about the Gemini
Yeah.
program here in St. Louis.
Yeah, it's throwback.
Damn.
And the little black capsule, you can barely fit. She can't fit.
Right.
I
Well,
don't
can't fit. We can't fit.
Right.
Arlington might be able to fit.
Maybe I might be able to slide through it, but Rudy got a better chance than I do.
Right, but I forgot about that. You're
Yeah.
right. The Gemini program
Yeah.
was done here in St. Louis.
For real, man. McDonnell Douglas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot about it.
It's dope. You gotta look at the history, man. You can't forget the history. And then I love how you got the wings, the sword. I mean, we're ready for war. I mean, Battle Hawks.
Like I did that.
Yeah, that was good. So, Rudy, my prediction, we go 10-0. We beat everybody's ass.
You've been hearing this, right? Right. You've been hearing this a lot,
We
right?
beat everybody's ass, and we go to the XFL
Yep,
championship,
championship.
and we win that too. That's my
Hey,
prediction.
he already said that the XFL
Yeah.
title game will be here in
XFL
St.
title.
Louis.
Damn.
So what are you thinking?
Pressure.
Of anywhere you play the title game, wouldn't it make sense to be here in St. Louis?
Geographically, yes. I mean, and then not only that, like I said, I know everybody. I
Right.
have some connections, but honestly, I was looking at trying to get a title fight here for the longest time. When Devin Alexander, a St. Louis-born championship boxer, he was going for the title. I was like, yo, let's fill up that dome.
Right.
I mean, let's fill up that dome. Let's get a title fight here.
Right.
And then so, of course, you know, his promotion company wanted to do elsewhere, and I get it.
Right, I
I need
get
more
it.
money. But, I mean, yeah, that would be great. Geographically, we're in the middle of the country. Why not?
Right.
That's the reason why TWA had their main hub here. St. Louis.
Exactly.
People forget that. TWA.
I mean, shit,
I mean,
Southwest Airlines,
Yeah.
their main headquarters is here in St. Louis.
Yeah, well, their mother hub is
Their mother.
Dallas.
Yeah,
Dallas.
but we have the
Yeah,
largest
it's coming. I mean, it's
Southwest
taking over.
Airport hub in the United States.
Yeah, it's huge.
So let's say I'm predicting for that first game.
Okay.
I'm predicting 45-50
What?
for that first game.
Come on, man.
Well,
If we talking about hold on, man.
I can't predict anything until we get those players. I want to see who we get.
Okay.
I want to see who we get. I want to see. Are you watching Hard Knocks? I'm
Well,
watching
yeah,
Hard
I'm
Knocks.
watching Hard
You know,
Knocks.
some of those cats that are gonna get cut are gonna come to St. Louis. They're like, all right, I'm hungry.
Right? I'm
Yeah,
watching Last Chance U.
Yes, Last Chance you.
That's a great show.
That is
Very
a
good
great
show.
Jason, he's a thug. He's a straight thug, the dude from Independence.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
South Central white boy.
Hey,
Yeah.
if that means he gonna do some nasty stuff out in the field, man, and we can get some dubs
Yeah.
off of that, by far, let's get him
You know,
on.
he reminds me of me from where I grew up at in the Peabody Project.
And then that's why I asked Kurt yesterday. I was like, hey, I mean, in this new league, can we hit the quarterback? Because I want to see something nasty.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, for real.
Hey,
Like,
I want to see like what happened that very first week in that other league when
Yeah.
a man from San Antonio
yeah, San
knocked out.
Antonio. Yeah, that
Yeah.
was deep. That
Hey,
was
well, no,
deep.
San Diego.
Woo!
And when he from the zoo,
Yeah,
Wasn't that a hit
yeah,
from the
yeah.
zoo?
yeah.
So I'm like, come on, man.
Just that hit was trending on social media. And like it was crazy.
Oh, it was nuts. So we had Howard on before you.
Yep.
We asked him.
Legendary Howard.
That is
Baldwin,
true.
Good friend.
That is true.
I love him.
We asked him who he sees as a St. Louis quarterback.
Mhm.
Who would you like to see? Out of the people that we've seen in the showcases and in the draft and all that, who would you like to see be St. Louis's quarterback?
Wow, man. See, that's deep, man. I want to wait till the NFL makes their final cuts after the third preseason game.
Okay.
And I'll be back. I'll tell you my guess from that pool, for real, because those kids are hungry. And and when you get a taste of it, you want to go back. I mean, the last 5 years the Rams were here. I mean, I was in charge of their charter flights, and then so to see everything happen the way it is, and to have so many friends in the staff, so many former players, when I see them talk about it,
right,
it gets deep, man. And then I never played. I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, well,
that's why I feel for them. I'm like, bro. Like I'm watching the movie Rudy or something like.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to check up man.
Well, that's why me and Arlington started this show, is we're fans.
Yeah.
And we wanted to be part of that grassroots movement.
True.
And so that's what we did. And I mean, week by week, we just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like I said to Howard, I would like to see James Franklin.
Ooh.
Because you know that his contract's going to be up with the CFL at the end of their season.
Right.
Hey, he wanted Blaine Gabbert.
He wanted Blaine Gabbert
to come here.
Like I was watching a preseason game last week, and I was like, Chase Daniel's still in the league?
Chase Daniel's what is it, 2 Super Bowls or 3?
Hey, man, I'm surprised he's still there. You know what I mean?
Just sitting there.
He's sitting there making a shit ton of money,
God.
and he's winning rings.
Right. Just sitting there.
I mean,
but he's also he's a little bit older as well. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Though. Can he? I mean, he was under Drew Brees for the longest. You know, he had to pick his brain.
Can he get down the field in 25 seconds or less? Okay, that's what we're gonna be sitting there wondering.
Is Drew Brees with you teaching under Drew Brees? Hell yeah, you can get down there. Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah!
So you got a good teacher,
right? What is the thing you're looking forward to most with the XFL gameplay?
Less flags.
Less
flags, please. Less flags. I mean, like, it's such a buzzkill. It really is, man. I mean, not just of course throw the flag for pass interference, but like when I could just graze you, bro. That's a flag for the. Flag for the quarterback, man. Like
you talking about the tedious one,
man. Yeah, like the
real
very
tedious.
Such those flags, man. It needs to stop.
Yeah. See me, I'm that overtime rule.
Oh yeah,
that overtime thing for me.
That's frustrating.
I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I know you remember St. Louis Rams were in San Francisco, went to overtime.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson, we tied that game. Wait, what?
Right, exactly.
You don't want to end the game in a tie.
Right.
No, but I mean that whole overtime with having the 44 players on the field.
Got the number right for once.
88 players on the field.
You're getting it wrong again.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
You want to see 88 people get on the field for real?
Can you imagine 88 players on the field?
Way too many people, man.
You're looking for like WrestleMania type stuff.
Right. You trying to get a battle royal or something, man. And we ain't trying to deal with gimmicks, okay?
Right.
We released from the gimmicks, all right?
Well, everybody's already saying it's a gimmick anyway.
Right. They are saying
owned by Vince.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you right now.
But let me tell you something. If we get 88 players on the field, I'm telling you right now, we're going to do fine.
I don't want to see 88 players on the
field. Bring me my steak, damn it, Stephanie.
But honestly, though, this time around, they're doing it different, and they're doing it better.
Right.
And you can tell Vince McMahon after that 30 for 30, he's motivated. He wants to prove everybody wrong. I can last longer than one season.
Damn.
I mean, for real.
You're right about this.
Man, everything's so much different than the first time.
Right. And what do you think Vince learned? And I mean, we're going to have Kurt on at 6:30.
Oh, yeah.
But Oliver Luck, all of these guys, what do you think they learned from watching the Alliance? Do you think they learned from those mistakes?
Heck yeah, they learned for that. First of all, save your money, kids. And then, not only that, man, you can't rush into it. It's a league. Come on, bro.
See,
they rush so
here's the
fast.
only thing that made it seem like it was like that. The defense for me was at the time that 2017 is when they got it started, but everything came out in the open in 2018.
Yeah.
Then it seemed like everything that they was throwing together just seemed rushed.
Now here's what I'm going to do.
It really was.
Will's standing here. I'm going to let Will jump in.
Okay.
Because, Rudy is kind of a contributor to the XFL with us.
A bit.
Yeah.
A bit,
Yes.
I mean, he's contributed. So let's get Will, our number
He
one
has some voice.
Right, and let's let the two fans really talk about what it is that they're expecting to see
All right, yeah.
out of the XFL. So hold on, I'm going to step aside.
Oh, he's gonna let me take care of it.
Yeah, I'm going to let you, Will.
There you
go.
You're our leader.
I am the lead here.
You finally get to be the leader, Arlington.
I always was the leader. You just always just taking over it all.
A-Train's in charge now. A-Train's in
You
charge.
just always was taking it over and just sitting there just pulling it out. So I'm talking with two fans. I got my man Will Freeman here, and I have Rudy G with me.
Yes, sir.
So first off, before we even get to any of that, Will, there was some big news that you had that you wanted to tell to our viewers. It was something with the team.
At least he's putting a sign over.
Did he really put it over me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, everyone knows, if no one doesn't know, out of all the teams of XFL on social media, St. Louis Battlehawks are number one.
Yeah.
That's right.
And since the announcement so far, that Twitter account has gone up over 3,000 followers already.
Wow.
So
We went from 13.2 to 16.3.
My man.
That's exciting, man.
That lets you know that it's real already, man. The people are ready for.
Not only that, people have short attention spans. You got to show them what's up. Okay, yeah, XFL's coming. Yeah, whatever. But then they see that logo, and then they see that hype video.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some people
You see this sheet ladies and gentlemen, we have this big room at Urban Chestnut. There's a sheet right up near ESPN 101, and you could make your deposit for season tickets. And that sheet is full now. Well, it was empty when I came in, and now everybody's signing up for season tickets.
Thank goodness I did a deposit 2 months ago.
That's right.
So, fans are ready for this.
Yeah.
That they are looking forward to seeing football again.
Right.
I understand for all the fans that are very not salty, but that are very upset of how they did the Rams and skeptics and haters and all of them.
Yeah.
And those that just
for everybody that's still going back to that, it hurts, but that's old news.
Yeah,
I mean, for us, 2019, bro, we got the XFL now, we got the Battlehawks. It's a whole new chapter. Let's go.
And trust me, no one was hurt for more than me and my brother, because we were actually there for both the playoff games before they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And, Orlando Pace was my brother's idol. DeMarco Farr, Kevin Carter, Grant Wister were mine.
Yeah, I understand you, bro. D. Farr is a good friend of mine, and it hurt. He has kids that were born here in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And, I mean, but, his wife wanted to go back to L.A. They have family out in L.A. We're going to get to that time when we have family members.
For many took it.
Who cares about that?
He had to take care of some family problems, and there's going to be time for everybody when your family gets older. You got to take care of them. So
That's
you got to
true.
take care of them.
Very true.
So I mean, it is what it is. But
and who cares? I'm talking about was the LA Rams now. That's what I'm talking about.
And also, here's another thing. Another name. If people saying Hawks, is just go with football Hawks. That was another name for this team. Football's like they did with the old football Cardinals back in the day.
Right, that's true. That's true.
I already seen a few Bluefits I don't want to ruin everybody with thing with the Hawks name on it.
Yeah, and I saw a couple of haters earlier today. What is a Battlehawk? What is a Battlehawk? What is a Battlehawk? It's our football team. That's what it is. And
I better not see not one of you guys at the games.
For real.
Not one.
Especially
those that said some of the hating.
Especially
a lot of people are okay with the name. They think that the logo looks great.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
It does.
It's the blue, the logo on top of the blue is nice.
Having a sword in your logo.
Man, I want a white hat and then I want a blue one.
White is fire.
Man,
can you imagine with the white logo? Okay,
I want the jersey designs.
Yeah, the jersey design would be nice, but I'm talking about the Battlehawks T-shirt, white with some white Air Force Ones and a white hat. Now I'm talking about
exactly, man.
I'm telling you, look at
that Saturday. The team store, the stores will be open for all merchandise. I don't think the jerseys will be on there yet. Probably right before the draft.
But the shirts and hats will.
Yeah.
Sweatshirts, maybe all sorts of accessories.
I'm going to do my best to nab one.
So the draft is going to be in October.
That's great. And it's going to be a lot of rounds.
Yeah. And then I text my boy Oz this morning. I was like, hey, you coming down? He's out in L.A. Most of our coaching staff isn't here right now. They're out around the country in meetings. But they're all going to get together in September, then late September, and then October we have the draft.
Correct.
And then we're going to take from that pool from everybody that gets cut in the preseason.
After the quarterback allocation, whatever's going to happen with that.
As long as we're not getting what that other league had, with that QB draft.
Yeah.
It was a nice novel concept, but we are
And not all those people started. I want to point that out.
They did not or played. Let's not forget the very first pick of that draft was Josh Johnson. Okay,
Yeah.
But yeah, you are watching the XFL STL Talk Show right here on Facebook Live. I am the A-Train Arlington Lane.
Yeah.
Dirty stepped away for a second, and I'm glad that he did. But joining me right now is our fans of the game. Fans of the team, that is, Rudy G.
Yes, sir.
And Will Freeman, who's also our contributor for XFL STL. So, guys, we got Kurt Hunziker coming up. He's more than excited. As you can see, he's off his gores right now.
Smart man.
What do you think are we going to expect from to see out of Kurt, to bring not only a championship here, but, having football back here in the community?
Well, he's smart. He knows our history. And what I'm excited to see is how they look at how they build our team. What position first? I want to see that structure. I want to see that beginning steps. Okay, are we going like any fantasy draft? Who are you going to get in first?
And that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
I look at it because of what they talked about what the draft was going to be like. I was like, oh, it's going to be a snake draft. Oh, this is fantasy football.
Yeah.
And I really want to see.
Hey, don't forget to make your deposits in fantasy football.
I want to see the fan aspect as well. We're going to talk to Kurt about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But what do you think coming for Kurt? What do you expect out of him?
Well, like I heard from earlier interviews, they're going to start with community involvement. That's the most important thing to get trust here in St. Louis. Get involved in the community because Rams there was some community stuff they did, but not as much as I would like to back in the past.
What I like too is that he's basically going to go in a local tour, and so you see it on the news. You hear about it. Okay, XFL, whatever. But when you see it, it's something about seeing it in person. And then that goes for the games, too. It's something about being at the Dome, and there's a big play, and there's that ringing in your ears. Because that Dome, we still have that Dome.
And
remember the Gordon Show turf years?
Loud.
Yes, it gets loud. And we don't even have to fill it up to be loud. We could be halfway full. It's still freaking loud. I remember Thursday Night Football against the Cardinals. 2 people sitting in front of me. I was in row 2. They're like, yo, this place is loud. And I'm looking at it, the upper bowl. It wasn't even full. He's putting the sign in front of
Yep. And the next time I'm going to have to punch him, man, before I'm going to be unprofessional for just a moment before this night is over with. But hey guys, I want to thank you so much for joining in, hopping in, and doing this for us, man. This is great. I am actually so excited about it. And Rudy G, where can they find you on social media?
At Rudy G3, Roman numeral 3 on Twitter. Airline man, businessman, hype man. A lot of people follow me, man, from Ray Lewis to the former NFL alumni. I mean, whoever's in town, I'm with them. So I'm the man that gets it done, man. So that's where you can find me.
My man, and Will, where can they find you on social media?
Will Freeman on Facebook, W Freeman 87 on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm gonna follow you, brother. I'm gonna follow you right now. I'm following you, man.
One of the great follows,
man.
Here's one of the great follows on Twitter. He has been doing a phenomenal job with us for XFL STL as a contributor, and he's going to continue doing that for us. The Battlehawks, folks, get ready.
Yeah,
it's coming down in February 8th, 2020.
Looks so good.
All right, we're going to step aside for just a moment.
Have a good night. They're going to be back with Kurt
as he steps away. When we come back, we're going to have the man, the president of the St. Louis Battlehawks, Kurt Hunziker. All right, you are checking out the XFL STL Talk Show right here on Facebook Live. Stay close.
Later.
We'll be right back. We've been driving around, singing songs way too loud because we wanna. Picking up a lot of friends who love to cut your lip bends because we wanna. Yeah, we just wanna have fun. The truck's full of wine. We're gonna stay up, have the time of our lives. The night is young, don't need anybody else. We can party all night long, and we don't need no chaperone. We don't need nobody's attention, yeah, we just wanna dance on our own. We can party all night long, and sing on to every.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the XFL Talk Show. I am Dirty. This is a production of One Universal Production and In the Zone Network. Sitting next to me is not Arlington, but it's Rudy, who is one of our number one fans.
Yes, sir.
Arlington went to go get Kurt. We're going to be talking to
That's
Kurt.
the man of the hour. He's going to get Kurt.
Right, exactly. So it's been cool. Rudy, so I kind of stepped aside to let Will take over, who's been a big correspondent for the XFL.
Yeah.
We had talked. Look at this place. It's packed.
It is getting packed.
It's packed. Everybody's like, well, ain't there anybody behind you? Well, kiss my ass. Who cares? We don't want them behind us.
The reason why is because we're at the back of the room, and everybody in front of us is filling up the tables. They're all in front of the other radio station and the front of the table with signing up for season tickets.
But you do realize that we were the first.
Yeah.
We were the first.
You were the first.
We were the first.
There was nobody else for the longest.
Right, exactly.
There was only one.
There was only one, right?
Yep.
And it was us.
Yeah.
Other than the XFL.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the XFL Talk Show. The XFL STL Talk Show. I screwed my own name up, Rudy. Rudy, tell people where they can find you at.
Rudy G3 on Twitter. That's Rudy G Roman numeral 3. And that's where you can find me on Twitter.
There you go.
Yep.
And you work closely with In the Zone Network.
Yep.
So give a plug to In the Zone.
In the Zone. Shout out to In the Zone. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Arlington and Palmer, they're both bums. They're both bums.
Oh, he's getting a poster now.
Huh?
He's getting the poster now.
What's he doing? Oh, here he goes. Look at
logo.
Oh, there he is. There's our man Arlington. Right back there. You know, here he comes. You knew it was coming.
You know what blew my mind? You know what blew my mind is that how Kurt told us yesterday, this is the firstborn football team.
St. Louis, you're right.
And I was like, no, what? Well, I knew about, everybody knows about the Rams, they moved, but like.
Well, the Rams moved from Cleveland to LA to St. Louis. Well, actually, there was a Chicago spot. They went from Cleveland to Chicago to LA to St. Louis back to LA.
What about the Cardinals?
Cardinal. Oh, no, you're right. I'm wrong. The Cardinals started in Chicago.
That's what I thought.
Right. Yep. The Cardinals started in Chicago, then moved to St. Louis, and they moved to Arizona. But you're right. This
that's
is
crazy.
the first St. Louis-born football team that we have.
Football team, man.
Right. So it's going to be crazy.
It is crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, the city is hyped. I'm hyped. Everybody's excited.
Right.
It's a lot of smiles here in this big room here at Urban Chestnut in the Grove in St. Louis.
You know, you're really good on the mic.
Day. It's a great day, man.
You're really good on the mic,
Appreciate it.
You should come down and join us on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, man. I'm down.
There you go. This is the XFL STL Talk Show. I am Dirty within a joint production of One Universal Productions and In the Zone Network. Sitting next to me is one of our biggest fans, one of our biggest supporters, the one, the only.
Ruby G.
There you go. That was your time to tune in.
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
And with that being said, hey, we will be right back with the St. Louis Battlehawks president.
If you want to learn about the team, if you want to get some knowledge, you're going to learn something, I guarantee you, because Kurt is a great man. He's going to talk about this team. He's going to talk about the league, and they got a lot of good things in place. I've talked to him several times now. It's going to be exciting, guys. So tune in.
It's going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the XFL Talk Show with a joint production of One Universal and In the Zone Network. I am dirty. Let me pause that real quick because I'm an idiot. We're not as professional as those other guys, Kurt. Sitting all the way down there is my partner in crime, me one, me only.
I'm the X-Ray in Arlington Lane, folks. Thank you very much.
Do you see who we have in the middle of this, Harley?
I do. I really do.
Huh?
I do.
Do you see who it is?
Yeah, I do.
It's the St. Louis Battlehawks president.
That's right. See, yesterday
Yesterday was just the XFL.
he was the XFL St. Louis president,
Right.
but today he's the St. Louis Battlehawks team president. Kurt Hunziker, ladies and gentlemen, is joining us.
Doesn't that
on the
sound
XFL
good?
STL.
It does sound.
I mean, it's really rolling off the tongue.
I mean, okay, Kurt, I'm just gonna let you know up front. When I first heard it, I was feeling a little mixed about it, but I'm warming up. I warmed up to it.
oh yes.
So it's like an initial, I was like, you know what, okay, but then I was like, the more I read about it and learned about it and understood it, I was like, I get it.
When the
I'm down for it.
when the Hollywood Summer trailer came out,
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
and the fact that we batted leadoff,
Yes.
too,
Exactly.
I thought that was fun.
So it was close though. Last night when I said it's something about flights or wings or something like that.
So when I started July 1st,
Right.
the first question. I mean, this is such a long process
Right.
that they've been working on this for months before I even showed up. And so the question to me was, all right, St. Louis. I mean, obviously you're born and raised there.
Right.
We really like that thematic. Like, what are the big things you know about St. Louis? I'm like, well, I mean, it's like the aviation industry. I couldn't even finish the sentence. So,
See?
you're going to love this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, because earlier on the show, there's all these idiots on Twitter. Okay? There's all these, I won't say the word, a-holes on Twitter that were blasting the name. And I'm like, but if you guys really sit back and look at the history of St. Louis, like Rudy even brought it up that the Gemini program was started here in St. Louis.
Correct.
The Black Hawk helicopter is built here in St. Louis. Boeing is here in St. Louis. So it makes sense for the name
Correct.
of St. Louis.
Correct.
And I love the logo.
Oh, the
man.
logo's
It is one of the best concepts I've seen in a long time, man.
Yes.
And people come like, you just saying I'm kissing them. No, I'm serious. It is one of the best. It's a great concept. This is what is needed for a team just like this, especially talking about a team that's going to fly high and it's going to cause chaos.
Well, it was funny. Like I've talked to a handful of people, and they're like, "Hey, we already had a supporters group name." Like it was 5 hours after the unveiling of Battlehawks. It's like, yeah, the fan club, like the loud, rowdy section,
Right.
It's going to be the flight crew.
No.
See? That's
I'm
what
like,
That's what
Miles. Like Miles. I mean, wow, 5 hours.
See, we started the show with Miles.
Yep.
He was the starting pitcher.
Yep.
Then we had Howard Balzer
Yes.
coming in the middle.
as our middle reliever. Then we had Will and Rudy
The stoppers. Yeah.
as the what do they call them now in the MLB?
The loogie, the left-handed.
Yeah, right.
Specialist.
Those guys.
Specialist.
And now we have
The closer.
the president of the STL Battlehawks as the closer on the XFL Talk Show.
I don't want to blow the save. No pressure on me
No,
right now.
no pressure.
No, you're good. Now I did know when I showed up today, you're like, hey, you're in an outdated shirt.
Yes.
Now yesterday you gave me trouble because of my shirt.
I did not give you trouble.
Just a little.
It is what friends do to each other.
That's true.
Now on Saturday.
Okay, what's Saturday?
Saturday is when all the merchandise goes on sale.
That is true. I will be buying my Battlehawks.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. The Battlehawks gear has already been.
Now, there's no way that maybe the XFL STL show might get some swag.
I will neither confirm nor deny those rumors.
Okay, all right.
There we go.
all right.
I'm still buying my stuff.
I'll take that.
Tell me you have fitted hats.
We will.
I do, because I do
Oh,
need
yes.
a fitted hat for the
Oh, yeah.
XFL.
You made him happy.
I worked in minor league baseball for 4.5
Right,
years.
exactly.
I think my wife knows I have 200 plus hats in the closet that doesn't really
Right.
see the light of day. I mean, it is such a cool logo.
Right, it is.
And when you start seeing it in different applications, sweatshirts, T-shirts, like I was telling somebody earlier, it'll be fun being in like the zoo or Forest Park
Right.
or at a Cardinals game and seeing someone wearing a Battlehawk shirt.
Yes.
I'll be like, it's so real now.
Right. Right.
So
So we talked to you on the 13th at the showcase.
Day 13, yes.
Right, and it was day 13 for you, and you were telling us that, you were doing the minor league thing, and a lot of these guys had goofy names already.
Great names.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, trash pandas.
Right, exactly.
Side poodles, yes.
Right. So the concept of the Battle Hawks.
Right.
Okay, how was that born for St. Louis?
Well, it was born before I got here.
Okay.
Trademarks, whether you're launching a new product or
Right.
unveiling a sports identity, like it's such a long process. And I think, that was what a lot of people, especially social media,
Right.
was like, oh, how come what's taking so long? Like, do you understand how long it takes?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for the people in the back.
You can't say that, but that's the reality.
No, that's what you had us for.
That's exactly
To
right.
say it for, because we bashed everybody who kept bitching and moaning.
So, but the name is, it goes back to what the soul of the XFL is. And
Right.
It's football and it's fun.
Right.
I mean, you look at something like Vipers, Roughnecks, Dragons, Guardians. Like, there are some awesome names, some really eye-catching logos. Now, I will qualify this, horribly biased. I think the Battlehawks is the best one of the bunch.
Oh, we agree.
Of course.
I told Brian Cooper in Houston, I
Oh,
really
man.
love the Roughnecks.
Are we already getting? Are we going after the other team?
Oh, no, I'm not
presidents?
going after it. Like when we were talking about it, and we saw the full complement of logos, and everything with us was video conferences.
Yeah.
Like, I have the worst poker face. Like, how I didn't tell anybody what this team name was is a miracle. Like, I will sleep so great tonight because that has been like this little, like, Kurt, you're going to be that guy. You're going to give it away. You're going to get yelled at. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to give away Battlehawks. But when we saw all the other team identities, I'm like, wow. Like, it is the amount of work, a massive collaboration of people did to come up with these identities. I'm just so thankful that the Battlehawks was born out of that collaboration, fan feedback, research. I mean, we're really, I couldn't be more fortunate. I think the colorway is gorgeous.
Right. Oh, I love it.
If you think of the Color Rush uniform of that color blue,
Right.
like, my goodness, we're going to look
So
good.
are those the colors we're going with, blue and silver?
It is like a deep blue,
Right.
silver. You see it on some of them. One of our accent colors is like the darker navy.
Right, yeah.
So it's a very small portion of the color palette, but it's fundamentally this deep blue, silver, and white.
Is that going to be like an alternate jersey of sorts that could be?
Maybe later.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna have a lot of mix and match of, like, especially pants and shirts. So you kind of figure that deep blue and then a
It's
white.
like the main. Okay.
But then you'll have silver pants, blue pants, white pants. I just look at it as like the all blue could be something that's going to look gorgeous on TV and great inside the dome.
Right. So, I mean, you've been busy.
Yes.
This week alone. In
Not alone anymore.
Well, no, that's true.
Yeah.
No, not. But St. Louis has been a busy
Oh, yes.
city
Absolutely.
with the MLS and all of that.
First place baseball team.
Yeah, that's true. And and then we have those.
Stop it! Don't bash them. Don't you do it.
You say it then.
The Stanley Cup champion St.Louis Blues.
Correct.
There you go.
Correct.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
He won't say it. He will.
I
refuse
will
to say it.
never say it. What do you say to the people that are on the Twitter on the XFL St. Louis page 2020 that are bashing the team names, going, because St. Louis, as much as I hate the Blues, St. Louis is a Cardinal and a hockey town, and the rivalry that we have with the Blackhawks as Blues, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's too close to the Blackhawks. I can't say that. What is it? What would you say to those people to accept that name? Because it really is a good name.
It really is a good name.
Right.
I can't force anybody to like it. I mean, we were talking about it. Half the people are going to like it, and half the people aren't.
Right, yeah.
I think for us, especially this week, of St. Louis becoming a four-sport town, and we're part of that family. I mean, we are a professional sports team in St. Louis, and to be forever linked to the MLS effort and really this renaissance of St. Louis sports. Today, to me, as a football fan, born and raised in St. Louis, today is, you can turn the page on that last chapter officially.
Right.
You now have St. Louis's first born and raised professional football team.
We are the St. Louis Battlehawks. This is our identity. This is who we are. Be part of the story. Be part of the narrative. Like the game day experience of the Dome, that is still a blank canvas.
Right.
And we need the fans. We need the community support. We need their ideas. I told you guys last night. I'll tell it to you now. The best way to engage any of us on the fan engagement side for the Battlehawks, hey, I have an idea. We'll stop dead in our tracks.
Right, yeah.
We love that kind of conversation because we want to bring a new kind of experience to the Dome.
Right.
And we have some of our partners from the Dome are here. They want to be part of the celebration. They've been great. They want to reimagine what the professional football game experience is like in St. Louis. And it's really up to the fans. You know, if you don't like the logo, okay.
Just come
That's
support
fine.
it.
Yes.
You want me to go off on them for you?
No.
No, man.
Not at all.
Wait till they leave.
This is the birthday celebration. I definitely get the sense that people here at Urban Chestnut, the people have reached out to me either through Twitter or Instagram or wherever. They're just like, it's a new chapter. And some people actually went a little bit farther, like, you know, it's a brand new book. I'm like, I love that. The cover of this book is gorgeous.
Right.
The pages on the inside are blank.
Yeah.
It's now up to all of us to co-author this story.
Well, I got a guy on that's following, watching the show. He said, "Hey, tell the president to be careful on Twitter, because I don't know he's trying to start anything, any like wars or anything with any of the other.
What do you need is that?
I'm like, we need to do that.
No.
This is not any other. This is a different football league, so we need to, like they said, dare to be different.
So the 7 other presidents, when you are building something together for the first time, like the camaraderie is unbelievable.
Right.
Like we have an internal Slack channel. There's an ongoing joke of my absolute love affair of a mascot, which now is public. I mean, everybody's like, "You're going to die in that sword."
Now you got another question.
But it's funny. They're like, "Right, you're going to die in that sword," and ironically, a sword is a predominant aspect of my logo. I'm going to die on the Battlehawk sword.
Oh man, that's crazy.
I mean, there is. We're all in this together. I think the fact that all of us will have our own national window. I mean, you have the schedule right here.
Right. Yeah.
We all have our own national game of the week.
Right.
For 10 consecutive weeks, each of the 8 markets, great sports towns, absolutely can support multiple professional teams. We're the only one that does it. But, I mean, I'm so excited for the other 7 markets. I love everybody's logo. We're going to have a very fun, kind of like, when Pujols and Molina exchanged jerseys a few weeks ago when the Angels were in town.
Right.
Yeah, right.
We'll be exchanging helmets with our other team presidents. Like, I mean, we are a brotherhood and sisterhood together.
That's good.
We're building this up. And now the fun part is there's been so much work behind the scenes.
Right.
I mean, some of the other markets have had team presidents for months, like March, April.
Right.
I'm one of the last ones to
You
come
were.
in. But now these are the people's teams now.
Right. Yeah.
So now it's each of our 8 communities really get to own what Dragons mean to Seattle, obviously what Battlehawks mean to St. Louis, and that's now the fun part as we move forward.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Now, Arlington last night when we were at the at Bar Louie's asked you that you were going to the the high schools, the local communities,
Yes.
and all of that stuff. Now that you have the name,
Yes.
okay, and now we're starting to see all of the local media starting to pop up. I mean, you had 2, 4, 5. I mean, ESPN here is at the same time that we're here. You just said, hey, you guys are grassroots. Talk to Urban Chestnut. You guys can broadcast.
Right.
For that, sir, we thank you very much.
Yes, sir. We do that.
We appreciate it. We've been a big supporter since 2018.
Correct.
In December when you guys announced it, we've been a big supporter. But now that you have the team name, what is your next goal to get the name out there, get it into the community for the people to really start buying into this? Or can you indulge on that?
Yeah, we absolutely can. I mean, that's what today is. I mean, not only is it a birthday, it's like now it's transparency.
Right, yeah.
That's about
Great turnout.
Oh, awesome turnout.
Last
tonight.
2 days.
That actually speaks to the fan base and the fandom of professional football in St. Louis. Tomorrow's start. I've been saying we're St. Louis born and raised.
Right.
So St. Louis born was today.
Right.
The St. Louis Rays campaign starts tomorrow.
Right.
So building the awareness for the Battlehawks, the relevancy in this marketplace is really, and you use the word grassroots.
Right.
We will be successful because we're going to be out in the community. I've told the ever-expanding fan engagement staff of the Battlehawks, we will be in the office at the same time on Monday mornings, and that's it. I want us out in the community. I want us at elementary schools, boys and girls clubs, Kiwanis clubs. We want to be everywhere the community is, engaging with the community, talking to them. What do you want us to do? This is yours. You're part of this. The community is part of this story of the Battlehawks. And so the St. Louis Race campaign starts tomorrow. So digital billboards around the city. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard not to see the Battlehawks logo around St. Louis.
Oh man!
Next Friday, high school football starts.
Yes,
Guess
you're absolutely
who's gonna
right.
be at a lot of these games.
Oh, my
in the next
God.
9 weeks.
So is there a possibility that the XFL STL Talk Show might be able to tag along with you to kind of cover it? Put you at a football game?
You bring up a great point.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
How many times does a professional sports team how many times are they created?
Never.
Yeah. So documenting this experience is of a paramount importance for us.
Looks like I'm giving up my camper time, Arlington, at the lake.
You did that on your own, man.
Hey, I'm good with it.
But to your point, I think. So last night we're in St. Charles. Couple weeks we'll be in Edwardsville. We're going down to Sullivan. The high school games we're going to will be in the Metro East. It'll be in the city. It'll be in the county. It'll be in Lincoln County. We're going to be everywhere because that's what we have to do.
Right?
We want to not just say we're St. Louis born and raised. We want to show it. So in January, when we start gearing up for our kickoff, if someone asks, what high school did you go to? I can say, all of them.
Right, yeah, exactly. And I will say that. Me and Arlington, when we found out you were hired as our president, we praised it. We're like, that is the smartest move for St. Louis is to hire Kurt because of where he grew up at, and you can tell that you're engaged in the community.
It's hard. I don't know if I can express how much fun I'm having.
I'm about to say this don't look like you having any hardship. This is man, this is actually pretty cool.
The hardship was not leaking this. And the fun is just beginning. Really, it's today is the celebration, and tomorrow is all right. Let's earn our wings. Like it.
I see what you did.
I have so many dad jokes.
I see what you did, though.
My daughter and son are just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
I'm like, I have reams of paper of so
a
many
plethora of sounds like you got.
Oh yeah. So and then you have people like Miles, just idea, boom.
Oh,
boom,
right,
boom.
exactly. You got guys like David right here.
Yes.
You got guys like Will, who is a contributor for the XFL STL Talk Show. You got guys like Rudy,
right,
who is a contributor for us and In the Zone Network.
And they represent also the people who are like what St. Louis is.
Right.
It's like the most connected community. Everybody knows everybody. I met somebody.
That's crazy.
I met somebody earlier today who he went to grade school with my older brother.
No kidding.
We're talking early 80s.
Wow.
And I'm like, he's like, oh my, you're Kurt Hunzecker? I'm like, are there more than one? Because now I'm alarmed. But I was just like, this is the most St. Louis moment ever.
Yes.
So
before you go, there was one question that was asked from one of our viewers. He said, besides St. Louis, what's your favorite logo that you had for the XFL? What was your favorite one?
Say none of them.
No. I really, and the other presidents could vouch for it, I really like Houston.
Houston one is cool.
Just because of what that symbol means.
Right, yeah.
I told Brian, I'm like, wow.
It has a lot of old NFL feel.
It does.
To it.
But with a fun, contemporary, modern bent to it.
Exactly.
But the Battlehawks, Oh,
Yeah, it's the best one.
I've got a couple texts from the other presidents like, "Who'd you bribe? This is great."
Oh man, really?
Well, no, you know what he did say to me, Arlington, when I showed up? He goes, first of all, he says, "Hey, your shirt's outdated." I go, "I'm not changing my shirt after what you said to me last night." He goes, "Where's your tattoo?" I said, "I'll get the tattoo."
Oh, you did tell him? Okay.
I mean, multiple people have asked that already. I was just like, I love the fact we're going straight there. We're going for permanence.
Yeah,
I
you
love
are.
that the fan base is just like, that is awesome. What are the colors?
Spending some time with St. Louis Battlehawks team. It did a nice ring to it. St. Louis Battlehawks team president, Kurt Hunziker, right here on the XFL STL Talk Show. And before you go, Kurt, you already been on Twitter. You already got some people riled up, and we love that.
We love it. You know we do.
We love that.
We love it.
And I think we're gonna be looking forward to the battle per se with LA when you got the Wildcats coming up. Are you looking forward to those times when they play each other?
I'm looking forward. I mean, just because of how close the team presidents are.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're having a bunch of brothers and sisters.
and he said that, and that's and I want you guys to hear that this is, even though they are competing, they all competing for a championship and things like that. They all have a brotherhood, and that's what I think everybody needs to understand within the community, the XFL community, is that we all are in this together.
Right, we are. That's the thing. And that's the one thing that we've been preaching this entire time, Arlington, is that, look, we all have to help each other.
Yes.
And we have said that, me and Arlington have said that for the XFL to succeed, and Kurt, I'm sure you're going to agree with this, that it has to succeed here in St. Louis, because that will go everywhere else. If we succeed here in St. Louis, then the league will succeed in whole.
I think it's actually it's bigger than that.
Okay.
I think St. Louis is 1/8 of the pie.
Okay.
In all reality, I mean, it is. So here's the best way to put it.
All right.
I started July 1st.
Right.
The front office started taking shape this week. So the 19th of August is when the first, like, the cavalry came.
Right.
The squadron.
Oh,
You go.
Thesaurus.com is a
We're
beautiful
going to get a lot of those. I got it.
Thesaurus.com is a beautiful thing. From July 1st to August 19th, and it continues, and it always does, there wasn't a single day, including Saturdays and Sundays, where one of the other team presidents said, "Do you need anything? We know you're by yourself right now.
Right, yeah.
Do you need anything? Like, can I help?"
Wow.
And I'm like, how can you, like, how do you define that? I mean, that's what family means.
Right, exactly.
Right. And so it is, I can't wait for the season. We've all kind of joked, like, what are we going to do on April 27th?
Right.
Like, the first season's over. Like, the build is the fun part. The games are going to be great. And then now you just start building upon that foundation that all 8 of us put together.
Right.
All 8 of us are going to be successful because we're all supporting each other in the most awesome way possible.
Yeah. And then, me and Arlington were talking that the XFL STL Talk Show might be the unofficial, official tailgate party for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Possibly. You can't.
He's trying to get your okay on that.
You can't confirm or deny.
He's trying to get your okay on it. See, look, he's mute, so that let me know right there.
He's like, yeah, I don't hear what this asshole's saying.
But here's the thing. But seriously, like, everything's on the table. Like,
right,
these are the conversations I'm looking forward to having now. It's like, what do you call the tailgate area?
I think that's what I'm grateful for. The fact that
the flight deck.
There we go.
There you go.
Now, I mean,
a team president.
Like, this name,
accessible. Yes.
There is so much fun to be had with this name.
And I like the fact that you are making yourself accessible for fans and saying that this is a fan league, and that's what you guys have preached about since the beginning.
Right.
This is for the fans.
Exactly.
It's about the fans.
Yep.
All right, so I got one quick question before you
go ahead.
Have you thought about anything with fantasy football or so? Like anything with those natures yet?
Me personally?
Yes.
Not me personally, but the league is diving into everything that is at the forefront. Like, we want to be the most innovative. I mean, that's one of the pedigrees of the first round of the XFL I mean, it's the name and Vince McMahon and Skycam. Like that's what.
Right.
That was the innovation. Like,
Please tell me the Skycam's coming.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank God. Thank God.
Now it's like, how do you miking players? That accessibility,
Right.
that behind the scenes that fans love, like content. Leading up to game day, during the game, the accessibility. Can fans come down the field 30 minutes before the game?
Ooh.
Can fans come down at halftime? Walk the field.
Ooh. Something to think about. Something to think about.
These are I got an idea. These are the conversations that's next. That's the next chapter.
Right.
Before you go, tell everybody in front of that camera where they can find you on
Those
social
blue
media.
lights. Look right into those blue lights.
So at XFL St. Louis, we have rebranded it.
That is true. You
I
have.
have not touched my own Twitter page, so I know my header is yesterday's header. It will be fixed once I get, squared away tonight.
Yes.
You don't need to come talk to me on Twitter anymore. We have an identity. It is time to build a story together. And that's the thing that I'm so excited about, is the narrative has changed.
That's a shame, man.
Correct.
I'm gonna miss you, man.
Right. From last night till today. I mean, we ended up at Bar Louie's. We had, about 200 people show up roughly?
It was a pretty good crowd last
Right.
night.
And then tonight, we, again,
Yes.
about the same amount, if not a little more.
I think a little bit more tonight.
Right.
Sure.
So, I mean, you guys see who he is. I mean, he's sitting here talking to two guys who are just fans. We started this show for you guys. We started the XFL STL Talk Show for you guys. And you see he's sitting here joining us, talking to us, treating us like we're all the other guys. Am I right, Arlington?
That's it.
Would you disagree?
No, I don't disagree with that at all.
So with that being said, I am Dirty. Sitting right there is my partner in crime, the one, the only.
I am the A-Train, Arlington Lane.
And sitting right in the middle of us. Where's that poster, Arlington? Give me that poster. I'll cover my face up.
Yeah, cover you.
Hey, I'll cover
give me
my
that other
face
one. I'm
up.
going to cover my face up.
Right, yeah. There we go. Right here. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir, before we go? Go ahead.
Kurt Hunzecker, president of the St. Louis Battlehawks.
And that will wrap
us up. We will see you guys next week.